Have you ever wondered what it is like to live in a world where your identity is reduced to mere numbers? Where survival is not just the fittest, but the most cunning, the most ruthless? Welcome to the grim reality of prison life during the Holocaust, where the struggle for existence was unrelenting and human dignity was often a luxury few could afford. In the heart of this darkness, a peculiar hierarchy emerged, spearheaded by the Kapos, prisoners themselves but bestowed with power by the SS guards. These individuals, chosen for their ruthlessness and lack of empathy, often fared better than they had in their entire lives. Their hunger wasn't for food but for power, and they wielded it with a cruelty that often surpassed that of the SS guards. Their disdain for their fellow inmates, the common prisoners, was palpable. The common prisoners, devoid of any distinguishing marks on their sleeves, lived in a state of perpetual hunger, their lives hanging by a thread. But even in these dire circumstances, they had to fight. For themselves, for their friends. Imagine living in a world where your friend's survival could mean your end, or vice versa. And now, picture the chilling scenario of a transport to another camp. Officially, it was just a transfer, but the prisoners knew better. The final stop was often the gas chambers. The selection process for these transports was a gruesome spectacle, a battle between groups, between friends. The goal was simple: erase your number and your friends from the list of victims. In this macabre game of life and death, the only constant was the number that defined you. Upon admission to the camp, prisoners were stripped of their identities, their possessions, even their names. All that mattered was the number. Tattooed on their skin, sewn on their clothes, these numbers became their new identities. A guard wanting to charge a prisoner would not ask for a name but glance at the number, a glance that sent shivers down the spine of the beholder. In the face of impending doom, there was no room for moral or ethical dilemmas. The sole driving force was the primal instinct to survive, to return to the family waiting at home, to save friends. And so, without hesitation, prisoners would arrange for another number to replace them in the transport. This was the harsh reality of prison life, a world that revolved around numbers, where survival often meant sacrificing another. It was a world where the fight for existence was relentless, where sentiment and pity were luxuries one couldn't afford. In conclusion, the dark side of human nature emerges under extreme circumstances, and in the unforgiving world of prison camps, where survival was a daily battle, even the victims could become victimizers. The Kapos, once common prisoners themselves, turned into oppressors, while the prisoners were forced into a brutal game of survival, where their lives were reduced to mere numbers. This stark reality underscores the importance of preserving human dignity and rights, even in the most challenging situations.